Hey YouTube, this is E-Train. Today I want to do a video on a tabletop mount tripod by Sunpak company called FlexPodDX. I do a little bit of photography, not traditional photography. I own a drone, so my favorite thing to do is throw my drone up in the air, take some photos, take some video, that kind of thing. But I also have kind of gotten into taking traditional pictures. I'll be driving along the road, I'll see something on a YouTube video or an area or location or on the internet, and I'll say I want to go take pictures of that. Similar to, if any of you familiar with Blue Ridge Parkway in Asheville, North Carolina, or into Tennessee. Phenomenal views, very mountainous, lots of trees, lots of greenery, and in the fall time it has great colors. So oftentimes I stop, pull off to the side of the road, and I want to take a picture for my vehicle or video. Now, when I take pictures or I take video, you know, when you hold it in your hand, you get the shake, you know, especially if it's a video. Sometimes you shake, your hand moves when you're taking a photo and it comes out blurry or distorted. So I wanted to have something that I could place down on like the hood of my vehicle or on solid ground or a solid base to take some still pictures or video without the camera jumping around or the phone jumping around and moving around. So while in Best Buy one day, I went to look for some tripods and I came across this one. Now, the price point for this one should be affordable for most people. I can't say what everyone can afford, but this tripod was on sale at Best Buy for $9.99. And excuse me, that was not a sale price. That was the actual price of the tripod. So, looking at it, while in the store, $9.99, $10, can it be any good at that price point? So of course, like everyone else or a smart shopper, I jumped on Amazon to look up the product, to look at some of the product reviews. Much to my surprise, there were not tons of negative reviews about this tripod. Of course, some negative, some positive, depending on what people were expecting from this tripod, which I don't know how much you expect from a $10 tripod. But there was nothing saying that this tripod was just totally a piece of junk. So I figured, what the heck, for $10, that's cheaper than what we spend for eating at McDonald's or Wendy's these days. So I figured I'd give it a try. So I picked it up. I was extremely pleased with this tripod. It was very stable. It held my phone and also hold my DSLR camera, my Nikon D3500. No problems at all. No swing, no tipping over. I was very, very, very surprised. Of course, it's not made out of the most expensive plastic. It's pretty cheap plastic, but it's very thick and very stable and very durable. So, it's actually a really good product, and it can't beat the price point of $10, especially buying anything at Best Buy. So what I'll do now is we'll go through the tripod and the two accessories that come with it, and so you guys can take a look at it and see for yourself if it's something you might be interested in. Here's the tripod. First thing we get a carrying bag. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's a nice strong nylon bag. I've had this, like I said, for about 3 months or so-ish, and this tripod and the accessories have been in my backpack along with all my other stuff, my cables, cords, books, my tablet. I have all kind of random stuff in there. And this tripod, this bag has never ripped or torn once. I thought this little area here might be a concern, but that's just the way they stitch it, and it probably prevents it from being torn but it allows you to put all the pieces into the bag without causing any real stress on the bag, and it has not ripped yet. So you put the tripod, both accessories in there, pull it closed, throw it in your backpack, in your purse. Doesn't take up any room in your suitcase, it just fits right down in there. So very nice bag. Surprisingly impressed. Now this item here, this is the base for your DSLR camera, or the brick. It can also serve as the base for your phone mount. You take this, and it has just a little screw hole here. You screw it onto the base of the you screw it onto the tripod, and then you screw your camera on the top of this. You really need this. The pin for the camera or phone is very long, but you'll be able to see. I'll just show it to you now. Here on the tripod, it's pretty long. So if you don't have this on here, you try to screw this onto the bottom of your camera, it's going to be too long. Your camera is going to be unsteady, or it can screw up the bottom of your phone when you put the mounting bracket on. So it's very important that you take this. Oops. Hey, and it's durable. Take this, you spin it on like that, and there you go. It's mounted on the tripod, so it's ready to go. And since I have it out already, let's just pull over the tripod really quick. Here's the tripod. Has a nice printed the name here on the front. Spread the legs, and as you can see from me spreading it out, I'll pull it back a little bit so it gets into the full frame. Very stable. Okay, very stable. I was very pleasantly surprised. Polycarbonate, I think it really is. It feels plasticky a little bit, so they might be fibbing a little bit on that. It might have a little bit of polycarbonate in it, but other than that, if you can see, it's still very sturdy. I mean, I can pound down on that with my fist and it doesn't bother it at all. Here on the side, they have this little lever, release lever, that allows you to freely pivot the base, front, back, side to side. But honestly, this is really not needed. As long as it was spring loaded on the inside, you can still move this around without pushing that button. When you have your, especially when you have your large cameras on there, you just can take your camera and you can move it around. But if you're really a little sketchy about putting that much stress on the base of your camera, or you don't feel that it's very good for your phone to do that, you can go ahead and use that button. Again, it's preference. I've done it both ways, and I think it's just easier to move it that way, especially if I have my big camera on there. It's securely mounted to the tripod. I don't need to push this button. But it's a feature, they put it on there, and use it if you want to. Now, my only negative about this tripod, the ball and stem. This is all metal, by the way, so I mean, it's not plastic, so you're not going to ever have to worry about it popping off. But as you can see, you can pivot it forward. If you have your camera on there, for whatever reason, if you're looking downward and you want it to look down, you can pivot it to the left, about 45 degrees. You can pivot it to the right, about the same. I twisted it there a little bit, but you cannot pivot it backwards. Okay, it goes back to the home, straight up and down position, and that's as far as you can get it. And that's because the stem is mounted at the back of the ball and not in the center. Okay, if you can see that. So it's mounted in the back when it should be, in my opinion, mounted in the center. Don't know why they did that. If you're placing it up on something low and you want it to look up, say if someone was standing on something, there's no way for you to pivot it back to look up. You can kind of manipulate the legs of the tripod a little bit. Okay, that's just a little trick you can use. But then all of a sudden you run the risk, especially if it's a DSLR camera, of it tilting backwards. very easily. So the only negative I really see about this, other than that, you can take it, fold the legs up. If you're doing a selfie thing, you can hold it out. It's only as long as the length of your arm, but still, it's nice and convenient. You can be doing a selfie, then take it down, throw it down, and make it out to be a tripod. Okay, very cool. You never have to stop to change anything. So, very, very, very cool. Now, the phone mount. This may look very simplistic, very, I don't know what you want to call it, rudimentary. I don't know, might be a good word. And that would not be far from the truth. But don't let the looks fool you. This is a very good mount. Notice that it opens up extremely wide. I have a Samsung S9 Plus. It's a wide phone, relatively wide phone. It's one of the larger phones. It's not a Note, but it's very wide. And I am the destroyer of phones. I carry it around in my pocket because if I put it on a clip on my belt, the clip breaks, the phone gets knocked off, it falls, I scratch it on my seat belt. I drop my phone a lot. So my phones take a beating. So I have to have a protective screen and case on my phone 24/7. And a good one at that. So I use an OtterBox. Well, if you know anything about OtterBoxes, if you're using a full OtterBox that has the plastic case and then the rubber gasket around it, I'll call it a gasket, but it's the rubber protective sleeve around it, it adds a couple of inches to your phone. It adds about another inch width to your phone and length. So mounting that phone with that OtterBox on it is almost impossible. I have a DJI Osmo Mobile 2 motorized gimbal, and I cannot get my phone in there without taking the OtterBox completely off the phone. I have to take the rubber sleeve off. I have to take the plastic cover off. The screen cover just falls off. They haven't made a great screen protector for the S9 Plus. But I have to take all that stuff off before I can mount it in my motorized gimbal. It's a big pain to do that. And then once you're done, you have to put it all back on. And you know, once you take that stuff off a few times, it rips, it tears, it loses its shape. Some of the plugs that keep dust and water out of your phone break off, get warped, and then it's never the same, and you have to go out and spend another 80 bucks for an OtterBox just so I don't destroy my $1,000 phone. So with this mount, I don't have to do that at all. I'm using my phone to make this video, and I don't have my other old Samsung phone with me. But I can tell you, I've used it. I can stretch my phone out, put it on this with the OtterBox on it, and have no problem at all. The key to this mount is this little rubber gasket right here. And you can slide it off. It comes right off. Slides on, slides off. This is the most important part, excuse me, of this gimbal. When you mount your phone into this gimbal, you have the plastic down here and it's rubberized, so you have a little cushion down here. This is the only cushion on the other side of this mount. So when you set your phone in there, that's what your phone is braced against. Now, if you have an OtterBox, a case, or if you have a protective case or cover around your phone, not a big deal if this isn't on there. The only issue you may come across is your phone will tend to slide because it's metal, it's very slick, and if your phone will tend to slide because there's no friction between it and your phone or whatever your case may be. But if you don't have a case on your phone, you do not want to be putting your phone up against any metal unless you don't care about your phone very much. Put your phone on here, not only will it slide, but this thing, it's pretty smooth, but it'll scratch your phone up. It just will. So it's very important that whenever you use this mount, you want to make sure that you have this little rubber gasket on there, so when you place your phone in there, it has some cushion, and it also holds it stable. Simply, you mount this, you take it, you leave the base on, take this, you spin it around, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. You spin it on there like that. Make sure it's nice and secure, and then now you can mount your phone. I think I said it before, but I want to just remind you, when you do that, you must make sure that you have this base on here at all times. Okay, that's the thing that's under here. That's the first thing that I showed you guys before the tripod. This little thing right here. Hold this so I don't drop it again. If you screw this on here without that base on there, which you can do, like I told you earlier, that screw is going to stick up. Okay, and then you're really, when you set your phone in there, the back of your phone or the edge of your phone is going to be going up and down on that screw, and it will scratch your phone or your case. Or if you mount it, you should never mount it screen backwards or towards the back, but if you do, you're definitely going to scratch the screen of your phone or your screen protector. So just make sure you have that base on there, no matter whether you're using your camera or if you're using your phone or your mobile device. And your camera doesn't have to be a DSLR camera. It can be any camera that's tripod mountable. So I know I kept saying DSLR camera, but that's not the only one that fit. Any camera that has a mount, tripod mount, you can mount it on there. And that's the tripod. Okay. Like I said, I don't have my phone with me, but it is super stable, folks. It's made out of good stuff. This is plastic. It's not hard. It's hard plastic. It's definitely plastic. This is not polycarbonate, but it's nice and hard. You know, unless you're running around dropping it on rocks or dropping it on the ground, throwing it around, I don't think you're gonna break it. Because even where you screw it in, there's a metal bolt inside there. Then it seems as if they molded the plastic around it. So there's probably not even a chance that you're gonna break it. If you break anything, you might break one of these posts, because I'm not sure how far the spring goes down, but it has to go down pretty far because it's open, it's pretty wide, so I'm sure it goes down to almost the bottom. So all in all, my opinion is this is a pretty good tripod mount for mobile devices or for your cameras. If you're looking for something small, form factor, that you can throw in your backpack, in a purse, or in your suitcase. If you're on vacation or you're out somewhere and you forgot your tripod, or your tripod fails and you need something smaller real quick on a budget, you can run into Best Buy, buy one of these, and you'll be good to go. So my review for $10, you can't beat it. And don't be fooled. Most people look at it and see that wire and going, it's very thick gauge wire, and then, like I said, you can hold your phone portrait straight up and down, or you can do landscape, and it works out great. So my recommendation, go get it. It's $10. It's cheaper than a number 4 Baconator at Wendy's. If you get the meal, it's about $14 now. That's insane. Thank you guys for listening to my video. This is my first YouTube video doing this kind of thing. I am very, very, very seriously late to the game. I'm trying to get it started. Please feel free to leave me comments, positive or negative. The only way for me to get better is to take criticism negatively as well as positive. But please make it constructive criticism. There are too many people out here, when they leave comments, they're not trying to be constructive. They're just being mean, okay, and they're just being nasty. I take criticism. I welcome it. That's the only way we can get better, if we listen to the negative parts of what we do, not just the positives. But it doesn't help when people are out here just being mean. If you don't like the videos, you don't like what I'm saying, if it was annoying you, then stop watching it. Turn it off. Go to someone else. But I try to stay positive, and I won't respond to your negative reviews if they're very nasty, very mean, and you're just trying to, you know, show everybody what a big person you are. Please, if you don't leave a comment, at least like or dislike the video. If I get more dislikes than likes, then I know I need to go back to the drawing board and look at my videos thoroughly, which I'll do anyway, but figure out what I might be doing wrong, okay, and then couple that with the comments. I'm not going to ask anyone to try to subscribe right now because this is my first video. I want to make sure when I start asking for subscribers, I put some good quality content out there. I don't just throw some junk out here and have people not watching it, because it's a waste of my time. It's a waste of space on YouTube when someone else can have their videos being watched instead of my stuff. So please leave your comments, hit the like button, hit the dislike button, subscribe if you want. I'll be doing more videos here in the future. They won't be just photography kind of videos. It'll be technology videos. I'm in IT school right now. There'll be about random products. There'll be about tools. I am a tinker tool guy. I'm an expert at everything. I'm a master of only a few things. So I'll be doing a bunch of reviews. I even may do some social, not social studies kind of stuff, but I'll be talking about life and personalities and people and some of the things that we go through. I'll try to stay away from politics now because that's just a no-win conversation no matter what we do at the moment. So, but please feel free to leave me your comments. Thanks for watching, and hey, you guys have a great weekend, and be safe.